I now call the meeting of the Code Enforcement Special Magistrate to order. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice. Welcome to the Hillsborough County Code Enforcement Special Magistrate hearing. When addressing the magistrate, please state your name, address, and speak clearly into the microphone. If you're planning to speak during this hearing, you must sign the speakers list located at the front door so your case can be called. Any person who decides to appeal a decision of the Code Enforcement Special Magistrate will need a record of the proceedings. The record is comprised of the testimony and evidence upon which an appeal is based. It is your responsibility to ensure a verbatim record of the proceedings is made. By law, you have 30 days from the date of my order to appeal my decision to circuit court. Presentations by the county, respondents, and opposition must be kept to a maximum of 10 minutes each. Special magistrate may recess at 12:30 and reconvene at 1:30 to resume business if needed. The basic process for this hearing is as follows. Ms. Meyer will conduct the oath of witness. Your case will be announced, and staff will present the evidence on your case. You'll be allowed to rebut that evidence and explain what has occurred. I will close the hearing and announce a decision. I may ask questions or allow other witness testimony as necessary. Depending on my order, the county staff may later have to conduct an inspection to see if you've complied. If the staff believes you have not complied, you'll receive a notice in the mail. By law, you have 10 days to contest that notice, otherwise it will be considered correct and a lien may be filed against your property. For false alarm or water resource cases, if you have not complied by paying the past due burglar, false alarm fine, or water resources penalty fine within the time ordered, you will receive a notice in the mail. By law, you have 10 days to contest that notice, otherwise it will be considered correct and a lien may be filed against your property. If you have any questions, these rules are outlined by Hillsborough County Codes of Ordinances and Laws, Chapter 14, Article 2, Section 14. And before we begin, please silence all cell phones. I don't think I have no minutes. All right. Now we call our first case. Oh, oath, please.
All county staff who will testify must take the oath of witness. Please stand and raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you.
Yes. First case, please. Sure, that'd be great.
First case on page 1 under water ordinance cases, number 1, case number WR 2103074. The owner is Tejeda Alexander Matthias Reynoso. Location 11212 Bees Wing Place. We have service and no one is present.
Good morning. I'm Carmine Pisano with Hillsborough County Code Enforcement. This is case WR 2103074. On Thursday, 12/16/2021 at 7:52 a.m., Officer Paul Whaley arrived at 11212 Bees Wing Place to observe the sprinkler system watering the lawn on the right side of the driveway. This is a non-watering day during non-watering hours. Notice of violation was sent on 12/17/2021, followed by the fault letter on 1/18/2022, and the notice to hearing was mailed on 3/16/2022. The history on this property is on 10/18/2021, a water violation case WR 2102636 resulted in a warning being issued. The fine for this case is $100.
I rule in case WR 2103074 that based on the evidence presented, the violator has failed to pay the water resources penalty fine for illegal sprinkling imposed by Section 111-7, Hillsborough County Codes of Ordinances Laws, Part B, Public Utilities. I grant the violator 30 days to pay the water penalty fine imposed, or if the payment is not made by that date, a code fine of $20 per day be assessed. Next case, please.
Number 2, case number WR 2103088. The owner is Upward America Southeast Property Owner, LP. Location 11147 Riley Pines Circle. We have service and no one is present.
I am Carmine Pisano with Hillsborough County Code Enforcement. This is order violation case WR 2103088. On Friday, 12/17/2021 at 4:46 a.m., Officer Paul Whaley arrived at 11147 Riley Pine Circle to observe the sprinkler system watering the lawn on the left side of the driveway. This is a non-watering day during non-watering hours. The notice of violation was sent on 12/21/2021, followed by default letter on 1/24/2022. Notice of hearing was posted by Officer Ted Baker on 4/13/2022. History on the property is on 9/8/2021, water violation case WR 2102450 resulting in a warning issue. This case carries a fine of $100.
A ruling case WR 2103088, the base of the notice presented, the violator has failed to pay the water resources penalty fine for illegal sprinkling imposed by section 111-7, Hillsborough County Codes of Ordinances and Laws, Part B, Public Utilities. Grant the violator 30 days to pay the water penalty fine imposed. Order if payment is not made by that date, a fine of $20 per day be assessed. Next case.
Number 3, case number WR 2103094. The owner is True North Borrower, Florida, LLC. Location 10205 Count Fleet Drive. We have service and no one is present.
You can see we're timely. I'm Carmine Pisano, Hillsborough County Code Enforcement. This is water violation case WR 2103094. On Wednesday, 12/22/2021 at 6:40 a.m., Officer Ted Baker arrived at 10205 Count Fleet Drive to find the sprinkler system watering the lawn on the front right side of the driveway. Notice violation was sent on 12/22/2021, followed by a default letter on 1/24/2022. Notice the hearing was mailed on 3/16/2022. History on the property is 9/8/2021. A watering violation case WR 2102895 resulted in a warning being issued. The case carries a $100 fine.
A ruling case WR 2103094, the base of the notice presented, the violator has failed to pay the water resources penalty fine for illegal sprinkling imposed by section 111-7, Hillsborough County Codes of Ordinances and Laws, Part B, Public Utilities. Grant the violator 30 days to pay the water penalty fine imposed. Order if payment is not made by that date, a fine of $20 per day be assessed. Next case, please.
Page 2, number 4, case number WR 2200047. The owner is 2017-2 IH Borrower LP, location 12302 Adventure Drive. We have service and no one is present.
I am Carmine Pisano with Hillsborough County Code Enforcement. On Thursday, 1/6/2022 at 7:38 a.m., Officer Ted Baker arrived at 12302 Adventure Drive to find a sprinkler system watering the lawn on the front right side of the driveway. Notice of violation was sent on 1/10/2022. Followed up by default letter on 2/10/2022. Notice a hearing was posted.
Mona, are you logged on to the meeting? You
Thank you. Please continue.
Notice a hearing was posted by Officer Ted Baker on 4/12/2022. History on the property is that on 3/22/2021, a water violation case WR 2100485 resulted in a warning being issued. The fine in this case is $100.
A ruling case WR 2200047, that based on the evidence presented, the violator has failed to pay the water resources penalty fine for illegal sprinkling imposed by section 111-7 Hillsborough County Codes of Ordinances and Laws, Part B, Public Utilities. Grant the violator 30 days to pay the water penalty fine imposed. Order if payment is not made by that date, a fine of $20 per day be assessed. Next case, please.
Number 5, case number WR 2200085. The owner is Luis Mendez, location 11215 Beeswing Place. We have service and no one is present.
I am Carmine Pisano with Hillsborough County Code Enforcement. This is water violation case WR 2200085. On Wednesday, 1/12/2022 at 7:11 a.m., Officer Paul Whaley arrived at 11215 Bees Wing Place to find the sprinkler system watering the lawn on the right side of the driveway. This is a watering a day but conducted during non-watering hours. Notice of violation was sent on 1/14/2022, followed by a default letter on 2/16/2022, and the notice of hearing was mailed on 3/16/2022. This has a little bit of history. On 2/16/2021, watering violation WR 2100140 resulted in a warning. On 8/11/2021, watering violation case WR 2102205 also resulted in a warning. The third violation was on 8/25/2021, watering violation case WR 210271 resulted in a $200 fine. This case carries a $300 fine.
Okay, ruling case WR 22000085, that based on the evidence presented by filer has failed to pay the water resources penalty fine for illegal sprinkling imposed by section 111-7 Hillsborough County Codes of Ordinances and Laws, Part B, Public Utilities. Grant the violator 15 days to pay the water penalty fine imposed. Order of payment is not made by that date. A fine of $40 per day be assessed. Next case, please.
Number 6, WR 2200120. This case complied on April 29, 2022. Page 3, number 7, case number WR 2200124. The owner is 2017-2 IH Borrower LP. Location 12302 Adventure Drive. We have service and no one is present.
I'm Carmine Pisano with Hillsborough County Code Enforcement. This is the case of watering violation WR 2200124. On Tuesday, 1/18/2022 at 7:14 a.m., Officer Ted Baker arrived at 12302 Adventure Drive to find the sprinkler system watering the front yard on both sides of the driveway. This is a watering day, but also conducted during non-watering hours. A notice of violation was sent on 1/21/2022. A default letter was followed up at 2/22/2022. Notice of hearing was mailed on 3/16/2022. History on the property is that on 3/22/2021, watering violation case WR 2100485 resulted in a warning issued. On 1/6/2022, watering violation case WR 2200047 resulted in a $100 fine. This carries a $200 fine.
What are the watering hours for that?
South of the Ala Fire, it's 8 to 12.
Thank you. Ruling case WR 2200124, the based on the evidence presented, the violator has failed to pay the water resources penalty fine for illegal sprinkling imposed by section 111-7 Hillsborough County Codes of Ordinances and Laws, Part B, Public Utilities. I grant the violator 15 days to pay the water penalty fine imposed. Order of payment is not made by that date. A fine of $25 per day be assessed.
Number 8, case number WR 2200130. This case complied May 2nd, 2022. And that concludes the water cases. Turn to page 9, number 18, fire marshal cases. Case number FM 21009. The owner is Martha Gaona and the violator is Casa de Dios Elim Church. Location 13308 County Road 672. This case was continued from the March 4th, 2022 hearing. Good morning. Raise your right hand, please. Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
And I'll need you both to state your name and address.
Marta Gaona. 13308 County Road 672, Riverview, Florida 33579.
Raquel Gomez, 5311 Bell Street, Wimauma, Florida, 33598.
Thank you.
Good morning.
Morning. Inspector Jimmy Wiggum, Hillsborough County Fire Rescue, 9450 East Columbus Drive.
Okay, Fire Marshal, can you get us up to speed here?
Yes, I was out to the property within the last several weeks, left a notice, and last time we were here, they were given a continuance, and so the day was supposed to be the day that everything was supposed to be, rectified. I had not talked to them prior to us coming here, so I'm not exactly sure if anything was done from the time I left the notice until today.
Okay, so there was a 3-week gap there between last time you were out there?
Within the last 3 weeks.
Okay. Okay.
Okay.
Good morning, ladies. Good to see you again.
Nice to see you.
Are we making progress?
Yes, we are.
Okay.
We met with the constructor, the owner. But we're not able to, she's the wife of the man that died, that was taking care of all the construction things. And we're notified that even though we got the permits for the outside, she did not submit the ones for the building. So she did that already, and we're working with her. And this is what, you want a copy of?
I would love a copy of.
That's where she submitted the application to get that going, to get all the permits going for the building.
The exterior is complete and the interior has not been permitted or completed.
Right, there was a misunderstanding between the architect and the construction company.
That's a heck of a misunderstanding.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah, just
Yeah.
least half of it.
yeah, so, and, yeah.
Go ahead, Inspector.
When you say the exterior, are you referring to the landscaping and all that? Right, okay, I thought that's what you were saying.
Mhm.
Yeah, but not the building.
Not the permanent building. The access or
I think
what
you're-
is the exterior?
Referring to the landscape that they were doing out there, they had to do some,
Oh, modifications.
right.
Okay.
Los inspectores, una vez que someta esto, ya va a mandar los inspectores
Yeah.
a cada área.
Right, and she did not know where her husband left off with the construction part. So when we met with her, we went over all the information that we had. And that's when she noticed that the building permit was not submitted, the application for that permit.
Okay. So you've submitted, so
Yeah.
you've paid the fee
Yes, for the application.
for the application.
Mhm.
Okay.
Y una vez que me manden eso,
And once, we get that going, it's, it's,
van a dar los
I don't know
inspectores.
how long that's gonna
Right.
take.
So, but we're still currently having a fire watch? and
Yes.
so forth?
Mhm,
Okay.
mhm.
Fire watch is still in place.
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
Questions or concerns from the fire marshal side in regards to continuing
Right,
this process?
yeah, I see that they submitted and so forth, so, yeah, I mean, they're making progress, they still got the fire watch in place, so that's a big help.
They're still moving forward.
Right, yeah, so now we just.
Albeit
wait to see.
slowly, yes.
But we're good with it.
Okay. All right. Ladies, I really enjoy seeing you every month. I really appreciate you coming in. The good news is you're making progress.
Yeah, we're learning a lot about construction now.
You'll be experts before you know it.
Thank you.
Okay, all right. I will continue this till my next meeting, and then we can get an update
Okay.
on where you're going. I'm assuming since you filed that you'll probably have at least some information by next month. So we'll go. I hate to keep bringing you back down here, but as long as you come down and we're still monitoring the fire watch, I think we're in pretty good shape. We'll let this play out.
Okay. Well,
Okay.
thank you so much.
No problem.
All right.
Thank you, ladies. Thank you very much.
June 3rd hearing.
That'll be continued to the June 3rd, 2022 hearing.
Thank you.
Next case, please.
Page 4, number 9, case number L 217024. The owner is Richard S. Eves. Location 4508 Lithia Pinecrest Road. This case was continued from the April 1st.
What'd you stop video for?
And I believe Mr. Eves is virtual at this time.
Hello, I'm here.
Can you get him on the screen, please? I need to see
You
him for
knocked it
just a
off. You
minute.
put off video. Okay, there it goes. I'm trying. It's my first time. Okay, there it goes. It's not on video. Okay, I think, am I on video now?
I see you. Will you raise your right hand, please?
Okay. Oh, you can see me? I can't see y'all. Okay.
I can see you. Oh, that's
Okay.
good. Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do. I mean, yes.
And state your name and address for the record.
My name is Richard S. Eves, and the set address would be the 4508 Lithia Pinecrest Road.
And the rest of the address for that?
Oh, I'm sorry. It's I think it's Valrico 33596.
Okay, thank you.
I know it's borderline Valrico and Lithia. It's right in there, and I don't use that.
Okay.
There's no structure on the property, so I don't really use that address all the time.
Okay.
Am I supposed to be able to see what's going on there?
Mr. Doyen?
Wayne Doyen, Hillsborough County Natural Resources.
Oh. How you doing, Wayne? Okay, oh, there's a picture of it right there.
Can you see what's on the screen now, sir?
Well, it was there, and then it popped off again. It says case number.
Okay, that's it.
Okay.
And
It says,
Mr.
yeah.
Doyen- Mr. Doyen is going to present his part of the case first, and
How
then.
do I get back to that picture? Okay.
Wayne Doyen, Hillsborough County Natural Resources, case L217024. Owner violator Richard S. Eves. Violation address 4508 Lithia Pinecrest Road, Valrico. Violation observed unpermitted removal of one 24-inch DBH, diameter at 4.5 feet, live oak tree. Ordinance violated section 4.01. First inspection, June 30th, 2021. First notice, September 30th, 2021. Last inspection, May 2nd, 2022. Inspections conducted 4. I will turn it over to Tony Hood, Inspector.
Good morning, Tony Hood, Hillsborough County. This is a photograph or a Google Street View showing the tree that was removed without a permit. It was taken March 2021. Next slide. So Mr. Eves applied for a tree removal permit. It was applied on June 24th, 2021. I went out to do an inspection on June 30th, 2021 and found the tree had been removed prior to the inspection. Next slide. Recheck was done May 2nd, 2022 and found no new trees planted on the property. Next slide.
Staff recommendation, plan to donate 24 inches DBH of approved shade restoration trees or contribute 24 inches to the restoration fund or a combination of the plantings and contribution to the fund within 60 calendar days. Trees must be 1 inch DBH or larger, minimum 8 feet in height, Florida grade number 1, chosen from the Hillsborough County approved tree list as appropriate. Contribution to the fund equates to $65 per DBH inch. The property owner will be responsible for this violation. Fines will be issued for failure to meet timeframes.
Okay, Mr. Hayes, what'd you like to tell me?
I guess I'm guilty. My intentions were good. I applied for the permit. I'm not really good digitally, and I'm being assisted on this here. And the tree fellow that was helping me, I'm not blaming nobody else. I mean, I'm responsible, but as you can see, the tree was not real green, and it was it fell all the way over. But I mean, I just want to comply and be as minimal as possible. My intentions were good. Please grant me forgiveness, and I'll never do it again. And I mean, I'm just whatever we got to do to kind of get things right here.
Okay.
My intentions were good. Like I said, and you see the picture of the tree. So
Let's talk a little bit about your intentions are good.
Yes.
I'd like to talk to you about a case that came across my docket back in June of 2021 for unpermitted or disposal of fill in the ditch on the side of your property there.
Okay, that's a different case number, correct?
It is. I had some testimony either from you or another person told me that you were on a mission trip or on a retreat or something and needed a little extra time to get that taken care of. And as of today, that fine is still running and has over $48,000 in fines. So I'm curious as to when you think you might be taking care of that. And that obviously impacts, repeat offender in regards to how this is handled.
Well, all the dirt that was brought in there had been removed, and I communicated and complied with James Roush. I'm sure he can vouch for that. And then I complied each time he came out. He came out there this last time with Adele, and Adele, approved, the end product there, the elevation, and then all the existing culverts have been all cleaned out. And I complied. I didn't know that there was a fine accumulating. I had no idea on that. But even with that, I personally didn't bring the dirt in. At one time, yes, I was like, okay, yes, I'd like to have some dirt in here. And then I kind of became, and I'm not being defensive, it kind of became a dumping ground for local pool builders and stuff. I mean, there's another load of dirt there. So, I mean, I eventually had to put the fence up. And, I'm not saying I wasn't wrong. But, trying to minimize people just sneaking in dumps there. So once I got the fence up in the front, I was able to stop people from coming in. And then I did remove all the dirt. I complied with everything that James asked me of. I did, the property is back down to the original elevation. Actually, it's right equivalent to the adjacent property. And then, so yeah, it'd be nice to try to settle this too at the same time. I did have a schematic drawn up and for Adele to look at and to stamp and approve, but I assumed that this was already taken care of because James and Adele came out and they said, well, if the neighbor's good with what's done here, then we'll close the file. And I assumed that was already taken care of. I know that there was a few other neighbors in the area that were being cited also for the same thing, and they were working hard and diligently trying to rectify and comply.
Hold on 1 second.
James, are you online?
Hold on, Monica. Yes, sir. Sorry, I'm doing pre-sub at the same time on my phone.
Sorry.
How you doing, James?
I'm doing well, thank you. Richard, that's not correct because I had even talked to you about the neighbor had hired the engineer out of Apollo Beach and complied his case, and you asked for the gentleman's information. And I told you that the site did not compare with what the LiDAR image showed the elevation was before.
Okay, I did put a phone call into that engineer, and I guess he seems to be so overwhelmed with too much business. I can't get on. I don't know what kind of relationship that they have, but I do want to get it rectified. I don't want to have a fine on the property. I think that I've been complying the best I could to try to make things right.
But we told you could see from the elevation of the property in the back and then up by the front. I believe you got a copy of the LiDAR imaging showing that the grade in the front was much lower than what it was now. Now it's pretty much very level, and it wasn't level before. And you were aware of that. I don't know how you're going to say that we complied your case.
No, I've been complying with you. When you asked me to do something, I would do it. And I'm down to my septic tank lid, and that can be verified. I'm equivalent to in height to the adjacent property, and I just whatever I got to do to comply at this point. So I did send you a digital drawing of what it is now. I think I need to get that stamped and sealed. I think it was our last conversation. And you said, yeah, you did. You gave me a good lead on that engineer down there, but he seems to be a little hard to get a hold of.
Right, but then you need to hire somebody else and get it signed off by the engineer.
Okay. So then that digital copy that I sent you, that needs to be stamped and sealed by the engineer, correct? And then we can close the case?
Right, and it needs
Okay.
to show that your property is no different than what the, like, I believe 2011 LiDAR image was that we had.
2011 LiDAR, okay. Well,
Yeah,
then
because
I
it
think you
shows
sent that
there's
information to me.
An elevation change from what was historic.
Okay. All righty. And then
All right,
I
Mr.
will,
Hayes, I'm going to interrupt you here. Obviously, you need to get with James and get some additional details taken care of. I
Okay.
can only, I was just bringing that case up in regards to.
I'm glad you did, and thank you very much.
Your past and so that you understood that that was still running and moving, and right now you owe $48,000 to the county. Obviously, that's something that you can discuss once you've been completed, but I'm going to take that into consideration when ruling on this case. So my fines are probably going to be a little higher here. What's your intention in regards to taking care of this issue? Are you going to, do you plan to replant, or are you just going to donate to the restoration fund? Do you understand the options here in regards to what Mr. Doyen has presented?
What's the amount to the fund if I was to do that versus trying to round up the trees and donate them? What is that?
It's based on, it's at $65 per DBH inch, and I know Mr. Doyen is in the process of using his calculator, so I won't guess at that amount.
The violation fine is for $1,560.
Right. Well, I don't necessarily have that kind of money available. And then, of course, now you got me a little bit more concerned about, the property I've worked my whole life to pay for. And you're saying that there's a $48,000 fine on it. Once that's rectified, I'm not trying to change subject. Back to the trees. I guess I would have to donate some trees. I'd probably like to maybe donate some trees. Was that to the local, what's that, community around the corner there? What's it called? Ottomans Ford? Do I deliver trees there? Is that what I do? Or?
Sir, whatever decision you're going to make, we can get with Mr. Hood or myself. We can go over those options. I can explain a little more in detail after this hearing.
Is this Wayne?
This is Wayne, yes.
Okay, well, how do I contact you? You have a direct line I can call you on, or?
Tony Hood has my contact information.
Tony Hood?
Yep. Do you have the inspector's information?
Could you give me a contact number, please? I'm better with phone numbers. I'm a little old buck when it comes to
Mr.
email and all
Hughes,
that.
I will give you a call as soon as the hearing is over.
Okay, and you have my 293 number?
Yes.
Okay, thank you, sir. And then,
just to clarify, you have the ability to either donate to the fund, to plant trees on your own, or to pay the fine. So,
okay,
whatever combination of those things you want to do, obviously that would offset your fine. If you wanted to either plant some trees on your property or donate some trees, you can, mix and match that and get with the inspector to get that complete. But I would strongly urge you to continue diligently working on the other case that you have, because in the eye of the county, it is not closed and it is currently running.
okay.
Okay.
Thank you for addressing that, and then I'll communicate with you, James.
And in regards to the timeline for you to complete this process, how much time do you think you need to get the trees taken care of?
Regards to the trees, maybe
Yes.
a couple months, maybe? Is that fair?
I'll split the difference with you. I'll give you 45 days.
Okay, sounds good.
Only based on your previous experience. So, Mr. East, please do your best. I'd hate to see you come back in front of me again.
Okay, and what's your name? I'm sorry.
I'm the magistrate, Brian
Yeah,
Lorette.
okay, God, I'm sorry.
That's all right.
All right, I will get that taken care of, and I'll wait for your call, Tony, and then I'll communicate with James regards to what my next step would be on trying to get that case closed on the other deal there with James. Okay.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
I concur with staff's recommendations and require the owner of in regards to case L 217024, to plant or donate 24 inches DBH of approved shade restoration trees or contribute 24 inches to the restoration fund or combination of plantings and contribution to the fund within 45 calendar days. Trees must be 1 inch DBH or larger, a minimum of 8 feet in height, Florida grade 1, chosen from the Hillsborough County approved tree list as appropriate. Contribution to the fund equates to $65 per DBH inch. Property owner will be responsible for this violation. Failure to meet any of the timelines listed above will result in a fine of $400 per calendar day. All right, so we have 45 days, and after that, the fines start at $400 per day.
I'll take care of the tree thing, and then obviously I want to get to work on the other one, get that closed out too, so I don't keel over and die.
Get with staff and get working on it. Thank you, sir. Appreciate your time this morning.
Okay, have a good morning.
You too. Bye-bye.
Bye. How do you turn this on?
Next case, please.
Next case is number 10, case number L 216891. The owner is Douglas C. Went Jr., location 2504 Riverbend Drive. We have service and we have someone signed in for this case. Good morning. Raise your right hand, please. Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, ma'am.
And state your name and address.
Stephen Briggs, 901 River Rapids Avenue, Brandon, Florida.
And what is your relation to this case?
Dr. Wayne is my partner. And I think what they did is they just took the first name they saw and they sent it to my address. So, but I have a letter here from Dr. Wayne that says I can act on his behalf if you need it.
Yeah, we'll take that.
Okay.
Mr. Doyen?
Wayne Doran, Hillsborough County Natural Resources. This is case L 216891. Owner violator Stephen A. Briggs, trustee. Douglas C. Went Jr., trustee. Violation address 2504 Riverbend Drive, Ruskin. Violation, unpermitted disposal of filled materials in a floodplain area. Ordinance violated section 4.01, first inspection May 25th, 2021. First notice November 2nd, 2021. Last inspection April 14th, 2022. Inspections conducted 3. I will turn this over to Jim Rouch, Stormwater Department.
The property is completely in a flood zone. You can see it highlighted there. Where you can see the dark line in the center, there's a little, I guess you'd call it, it's not a creek, it's a puddle. It's a trench that was dug across there for some reason, we don't really know why, years ago, and it went across 4 of the properties, and EPC went out there. He started filling it in, and EPC went out, and as an original call or complaint from somebody, I guess, and EPC said it's not a wetland, and they said that it's just a ditch across the property. It's pretty good size, but it wasn't a ditch. He had started to fill it in, and then they turned it over to us because it was in the upland. And if this property was not in a flood zone, we probably wouldn't have had a problem with what he was doing. Because it's in a flood zone, there's cup for cup compensation. You can't fill. Yeah, there you can see the piles of fill, and there's also some fill already on the ground. His main goal was to fill it in, and at this point, he told me they're planning on selling the property now, but he said they want to get this taken care of before they sell the property, and so the new owner doesn't have a problem. We've had that happen too much. So I do appreciate that. He's been very cooperative, and all he wants to do is fill this in. I told him he could take, there's a high point to the right on the picture to the left there, to the right, there's a high point. He could take fill from that area and put it into the hole, and that would be acceptable because it's fill from the property going onto property. But at this point, because it's a flood zone, he needs to either remove the fill or get an engineer to certify that what he's doing is not going to adversely affect his neighbors. And also that the runoff, it'd be okay to run it to the river that runs to the east of the property, but he has to ensure that there's no turbidity issues, that it's clean water getting through, running across plant material.
For case L216891, staff recommendations: submit, obtain, and finalize natural resource permit to address the disposed fill materials and stormwater requirements for the property within 153 calendar days. The following items must be included in the application: submit a professional engineer's plan and provide an as-built plan of the final grade elevations, or remove all fill materials within 153 calendar days and request a county inspection. Fines will be applied for failure to meet these timeframes.
I'm always a fan of having a unique calendar day, but can you explain to me why it's 153 calendar days?
We went with 5 months, and that's actually the calendar
The
days.
actual number of days. Understand. Okay. Good morning, sir.
Good morning. How are you, sir?
I'm fabulous. How are you?
Compared to you, probably not as good.
What would you like to tell me?
Well, first of all, I agree with everything that Jim said. And just let me say this, Jim has been more than helpful. He's tried to, instead of showing me how I can't do something, he's tried to show me how I might be able to. And I really appreciate that. One thing that I'd like to add is I do have a permit from the EPC. I've had that for over 5 years. The last email I got from them about 4 years ago was, go ahead and fill it in. And so I just started, and I should have read this a little more carefully because it said I had to come see you. And I tried to do that earlier, but just to no avail. And being a novice at this kind of thing, it just got too complicated for me. So what I've done, I've contracted with Peter Nelson of Nelson Associates, an architectural engineering program or company. And we're going to try to comply with everything that the Jim has asked us to do. That's pretty simple.
Okay, terrific. Are you okay with the 5-month timeline?
Oh, we'll take more if we can get it, but I hopefully so.
Okay. All right. Any concerns or questions or life safety issues or anything, any reason why we can't extend that a little more? I just have a feeling the hairs in the back of my head say 5 months is going to be.
Yeah, we were just ballparking from figuring what it'd take to get the application in and then resubmit it. And there's no development on either side of it. There's 2 properties away. There's a house. So what is there right now really isn't affecting anybody very much. So it's up to Wayne, but from the site impact, it wouldn't be a problem.
Okay. I just like to reward people that have been incredibly cooperative, and it's been both ways. So I would like to amend that to 180 days if you're comfortable with that, Wayne. Okay.
I am.
Okay. Excellent. All right. That was an easy one. Go ahead and roll. Thank you, sir, for coming down. I appreciate you taking the time.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Everyone, case L216891, based on the staff's concur with staff's recommendations, require the owners to submit, obtain, and finalize natural resources permit to address the disposed fill materials and stormwater requirements of the property within 180 calendar days. The following items must be included in the application: submit a professional engineer's plan and provide as-built plan of the final grade elevations. Remove all fill materials within 180 calendar days and request a county inspection. Failure to meet any of the timelines listed above will result in a fine of $250 per calendar day. Next case, please.
Page 5, number 11, case number L216940. The owner is Alan and Maria Juvert, and the violator is Pro Cut Services, LLC, location 3002 Spring Green Drive. We have service, and we have someone here. Good morning.
Good morning.
Raise your right hand, please. Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
And your name and address, please.
My name is Alan Juvert. My address is 3002 Spring Green Drive, Lutz, 33559.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Wayne Doyle, Hillsborough County Natural Resources. This is case L216940. Owners, Alan Juvert and Maria Juvert. Violators, Pro Cut Services, LLC. Violation address 3002 Spring Green Drive, Lutz. Violation observe unpermitted removal of eight oak trees measuring 17, 15, 19, 19, 12, 28, and 23 inches DBH, diameter 4.5 feet. Ordinance violated section 4.01, first inspection, June 14, 2021. First notice, June 15th, 2021. Last inspection, April 29th, 2022. Inspections conducted, 3. On this aerial photo was taken on Property Appraiser dated March 13, 2021. It shows the location of where the trees were removed. On June 14, 2021, I made a site visit out for a complaint, made contact with the property owner. Took these photos, shows the approximate locations of the stumps remaining. On March 31st, 2022, rechecked the property April 29, 2022. No new trees. Case L216940, staff recommendation, plant 150 inches DBH of approved shade restoration trees or contribute 150 inches to the restoration fund or a combination of plantings contribution to the fund within 90 calendar days. Trees must be 1 inch DBH or larger, minimum 8 feet in height, Florida grade number 1, chosen from the Hillsborough County approved tree list as appropriate. Contribution to the fund equates to $65 per DBH inch. The property owner and violator will be responsible for this violation. Fines will be issued for failure to meet timeframes.
Okay, sir, what would you like to tell me?
Yes, sir. As Mr. Doyne mentioned, he came out to the property. I wasn't at the property when he came by. I actually spoke to him on the phone. First time I actually see him. He had sent over some information as to what trees or list of trees that could be planted. I told him that our plan was to redo landscaping. He also I also gave him the information as to who the company was that came out and took care of the trees. We had a little bit of trouble contacting them. Still having some trouble getting a hold of them when they came out. Same thing. I was there the first day. Let them know that I wanted the damaged trees taken care of. Pointed to a tree in the front. He said that he'd have to have an arborist take a look at that. That might need to be permitted. Left to Georgia. I think that's when Mr. Doyne and I was in Georgia when we had talked and mentioned that the violation had taken place. I very responsive with Mr. Doyne back and forth. I have several emails going back trying to find out, well, how do we do this? How do we take care of this? I'm really not very familiar to how it goes. He asked me to work with the company that to come down. We've again tried reaching out, and it's been hard to get a hold of and communicate with him. He had subsequently sent me another violation where he reduced it to 80 inches, along with a reduced fine, which I said, no, that's fine. And we're planning, like I said before, to re-landscape and put some trees up. The issue that we have is the timeline. I don't know how long this will take or when it is that we can do it. I have that notice here. I think he reduced it to 80 inches, and I'm not sure what the fine is, but my last email to him was basically explaining that, I don't have a problem with doing this. I can't get a hold of the ProCut Services, I believe it was. My wife had lost job due to COVID. It's just going to take us a little longer time to get this done, and here we are now.
Understand. Mr. Doyne, we have a conflict in regards to number of inches here. Did we?
Yes, that's my apologies. I meant to switch the slide. We did discuss this. He let me go on the property. We did look at photos and stuff, and there were some dead trees. So I did take them off the violation at the time. That was just a clerical error.
Okay, so it should be 80 inches?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. 80. Yes. Okay, sir. So in regards to getting this taken care of, you need some time to get that done. Is 90 days sufficient?
That would be fair. I would try to get a hold of once again the company that came out and see if we can somehow hold it.
I understand that's frustrating. Yes, and then ultimately at the end of the day, obviously you're responsible, but you might have to work on some legal issues or something. I don't know, but hopefully they'll come back to the table and be helpful with you.
Hope so. Yeah.
Absolutely. Okay. Any questions, concerns with their recommendations?
He's been very helpful. Is there any way to hold them accountable? Is there something that I can do? Is there something the county can do? Has the county cited them as well? I don't know.
It's a great question.
Yes, both the property owner and violator was on this violation. So I have good service for the tree company. I've talked to them a few times. They said they were going to get together and come up with a solution, but as you can tell, we are here, and it's been crickets in the last couple of weeks.
Okay, but we did properly notice.
Yes, we did.
Yes, we have service on the hearing notice for both the owner and the violator.
Okay. Any concerns with splitting this up and holding them accountable as well?
I
think
agree.
that's-
I agree with it.
I think that's fair.
Yes, sir.
Absolutely. Okay. You're here and they're not. Okay. I'm ready. I rule in case L 216940 that based on staff's recommendations require a 75-25 split. The violator, property owner is 25% and the violator 75% liable for the ruling as follows. Plant 80 inches DBH of approved shade restoration trees or contribute 80 inches to the restoration fund or a combination of plantings and contribution to the fund within 90 calendar days. Trees must be 1 inch DBH or larger, minimum of 8 feet in height, Florida grade 1, chosen from the Hillsborough County approved tree list. Approved tree list is appropriate. Contribution to the fund equates to $65 per DBH inch. Property owner is 25% liable and violator is 75% liable for this violation. Failure to meet any of the timelines listed above will result in a fine of $350 per calendar day. That makes sense, sir?
Yes,
So
sir.
you're 25% liable for the violation,
Okay.
and the tree company is 75% liable.
So I guess I could do the math, 65 dBH times 80% at 25%.
That would be-
8 inches at 25%, correct?
25% of 80, it would be
20
20
inches.
20
DBH inches, yeah.
Yeah, and I pay that county where, how do that, if I'm to donate or pay
Sir?
county fine?
You have my info. Just give me a call. We'll go over all the options you have
Okay,
and we'll get this done.
perfect. Perfect.
90 days, correct. Thank you, sir.
you.
Appreciate you coming down.
Thank you.
Next case, please.
Next case is number 12, case number L 216965. The owner is James Leland Bird. Location is folio 084-945.0000. I'm assuming it's a vacant lot. This is a request for rehearing. We have someone here. Good morning. Raise your right hand, please. Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
And your name and address, please.
John Greigel, 11964 Neal Road, Lithia, Florida, 33547.
And are you representing?
I am the property manager. He's my father-in-law.
Okay, that'll work.
I'm going to go through the whole detail of what happened. I have,
As long as he knows you're here doing this and he's okay
Very
with it,
well.
that's fine.
and does anyone want? I have a few copies.
Wayne Jordan, Hillsborough County Natural Resources. Case L 216965, owner violator James Leland Bird Revocable Trust, violation address 1 Dover. It's a vacant lot. Violation observed unpermitted removal of 12 trees measuring a total of 144 inches DBH, diameter 4.5 feet above grade. Ordinance violated section 4.01, first inspection July 8, 2021, first notice July 28, 2021. Last inspection, April 22nd, 2022. Inspections conducted 3. I will turn this over to Inspector Hood.
Good morning, Tony Hood, Hillsborough County. We received a complaint about unpermitted tree removal. I responded July 8, 2021, and I could see a large debris field on the property. Next slide. Here's an aerial taken by Google Earth showing the trees that were removed. They are no longer on site. Next slide. A recheck was done April 22nd, 2022, shows the debris still on site, no new plantings. Next slide.
Staff recommendation is submit a compliant tree restoration and or contribution agreement for 144 inches of trees and complete the restoration agreement within 90 calendar days. The violator, James Leland Bird Revocable Trust, is responsible for resolving this matter with the county. Fines will be issued for failure to meet timeframes. Contribution to the restoration fund equates to $65 per DBH inch.
Okay, sir, what would you like to tell me?
All right, I'm just going to go through the timeline of events of what happened on.
Great. I'm trying to read it too, so
Okay.
that'll be perfect.
10/1/2020, James Leland Bird purchased property from Medley Groves and leases the property Brent registered for hay. It was previously a orange grove, constantly under agricultural exemptions. 2/9/21, meeting on site with Kenneth Reiner and Matt Vincent of Southwest Florida Water Management. James Leland Bird, John Grigel, president, discussed what was needed to get the land ready for strawberry production. Mr. Bird was instructed to restore the property to 2004 aerial footprint, and then we can discuss pond placement and programs available that could supply state and federal funding to assist with surface water for frost protection. Exhibit A is in there. Let me just throw that up there. Here's what the 2004. Area looks like. As you can see, there's no trees there.
I'm looking at Exhibit B.
As you can see, no trees are in the drainage ditch.
Sir, is that Exhibit B?
That is Exhibit B.
Thank you.
Exhibit A was.
It's fine. I can just see it better here than I can on the screen, so just confirming. Thank you.
Okay, 5/10, 2021, Mr. Bird hires Mr. Brian Mayo for work commencing on restoring the property to 2004 aerial as Exhibit B. June 2021, Mr. Mayo begins clearing ditches of overgrown areas. 6/15/2021, I received a call from Clint Shockley with EPC. He said he had a complaint from a neighbor that trees were being removed. I explained to him about my conversation with SwiftMud and sent him my correspondence with Kenneth Greiner of SwiftMud. He said he would need to do a site visit and scheduled it for 6/22/2021. Exhibit C is a email confirmation that he met there. 6/22/2021. Site visit with Mr. Shockley. He reviewed what was done and took some pictures and closed the incident. Mr. Shockley can be reached at 813-627-2600, 1221 extension. 7/28, notice of violation received from Development Services, CE 216965, that states an inspection was performed on July 8th, 2021. And we have been found in violation of section 4.01 of the Land Development Code. We never received a phone call to schedule a site visit. Multiple attempts were made to contact Inspector Tony Hood. Exhibit D are my emails to him. Never return a call. I can't get in touch with anyone at the county.
Sir, I'm going to give you a warning.
Okay.
Just focus on the details here.
I'll just keep reading.
The lack of communication, those kind of things.
Okay.
At this point, I just want to get to what the issue is, okay? I don't want you to lose your 10 minutes.
No problem. I finally get in touch with Mr. Hood and I asked him if he had performed a site visit and he said no. He's working off current aerials. In December, I later received an affidavit signed by Ms. Hall on December 15, 2021, that an inspection was made on July 8th. Exhibit D2, this inspection must have been done by an aerial and not in person as we were never contacted for access to the property. 8/4, sent an email explaining the violation of Mr. Hood. I detailed the situation and never heard back from Mr. Hood. It was my impression that the issue was resolved. I have the email attached for your review, Exhibit E. 12/1, received a letter from Land Development Services stating that if we are not in compliance by December 15th, we would be scheduled for a hearing. The letter instructed me to reach out to Mr. Hood. I made multiple attempts again to see if he would receive my email, no response. 1/14, received letters of notice of hearing, Exhibit G. 1/14 to 1/15/22, Mr. Berg was admitted to Plant City Hospital for a possible stroke. I have paperwork to the minutes. However, they contain medical information that Mr. Bird that I do not think should be made public record, HIPAA privacy laws, etc. If you need to see it, I do have it with me, but I don't want it admitted to public records.
If you give it to me, I have to keep it.
Okay. I will not. But he was in the hospital. 1/17 and 1/19 left messages for Krista Hall because of lack of response from Mr. Hood. 1/21 received letter of reinstatement of Greenbelt from Hillsborough County property appraiser. This was for 2021 year. And this goes back to the lease that was with Mr. Register that was done in 2020. So
where is the letter?
It's
reinstatement. Which exhibit?
I do have it. I don't know if it's in here. But I mean, you can just look up in Hillsborough County.
I cannot. Do you have a copy of the letter of reinstatement?
I will provide it as soon as
You do not currently have a copy of the letter of reinstatement with you.
It's in my folder. I didn't put it in the exhibits though. But yes, I have it with me.
Do you have it someplace else as well? Once you give it to me, I have to keep it. So I'm just asking if you have a copy of it to provide to go into the case file here.
The property is green belted right now. I mean, if you go to property appraiser, it shows it's green belted.
Sir, do you have a copy of the Greenbelt letter?
I can get it right now.
Okay. And you have one in your file as well. I'm not taking your only copy.
It is my only copy.
Okay. Can you grab your Greenbelt letter and stick it under the camera here for me? Thank you.
One 2231, Mr. Berg fell in his residence and broke his leg approximately 11 p.m. Was transported to ambulance by TGH. He had been taking care of his wife who has dementia. The fall puts Mr. Bird in Tampa General Hospital with a compound fracture that requires surgery as well as testing positive for COVID. 128, I finally connect with Ms. Hull. Explained that I'm representing Leland Bird. He is old and cannot hear well, and he is having medical problems. He does not use email very efficiently, and therefore I am involved. She explained all should be okay if I was to return a copy of completed agricultural exemption application. With the family in disarray, I had the best intentions to complete and return, however, I failed to return and complete the exhibit and the application on time. 131, Mr. Bird is later moved to Brandon Health and Rehab, still in COVID protocol, and I am unable to speak with him. Mr. Bird has been handling the management of this parcel up until his first trip to the hospital. I am trying to pick up where he left off. 29, Mr. Bird has moved to Hawthorne Rehab. He is available to receive visitors, but his head is still foggy from COVID and anesthesia, and he's still in a lot of pain. 3-4, I missed the scheduled hearing. That was the last hearing on this. 3/16/22 received order imposing fine, case L226965. 321 email sent to Ms. Hull to explain why we're not at the hearing and submitted agricultural exemption certificate. No response. 323 Sonia Rose left message, no call. 324 Sonia Rose left message, no call. 324 calls Sonia Rose again, and Sonia's supervisor Susan Meyer answers. She listens to the chain of events. I forwarded the email I sent Ms. Hull, and she reached out to Ms. Hull to see if we can resolve. Ms. Hull declines, and I am informed that 324 is my final day to request a hearing. I was glad I was persistent. Ms. Meyer schedules the rehearing. Exhibit J. Email from Ms. Meyer. 325, Mr. Bird and his wife were moved to a respite room in an assisted living facility. Since the night of Mr. Bird's fall, my wife, Mr. Bird's youngest daughter, has been taking care of Mrs. Bird with dementia. I've been doing my best to hold operations together. With the addition of Mr. Bird's workload, Mr. Bird was active up until 1/14/22, and this was his project. 325, received email confirmation from Ms. Meyer that my rehearing has been rescheduled for Tuesday, May 3rd, today. 421, received a call from Kenneth Griner of Southwest Florida Water Management. He was calling and checking on my progress. We had a long conversation. I read through the chain of events on this page. Off the top of his head, he instructed me to cite Florida Statute 373.406, number 2. And he said that should clear the whole situation up. This should clear. I am hoping that this is the case. This is a drainage ditch that was dug in the 1950s that has been in constant use. All Mr. Mayo was doing while on site was performing deferred maintenance as allowed by state statute. Mr. Griner informed me that if this is not adequate evidence to schedule an appeal and contact attorney Timothy Riley of Dean, Meade, and Tallahassee. 4/22, I received a call from Carla Shelton that I need to resubmit my agricultural exemption application. If I had any questions, please contact Ryan Joyce. I've yet to resubmit based on the outcome of this hearing. In conclusion, this whole process has been incredibly frustrating and consumed a great deal of my time. If Mr. Hood would have just called to schedule a site visit like Mr. Shockley of the EPC, I'm sure this could have been resolved at the time of inspection. I request the order imposing fines be canceled and this case be closed. Anything else you need to see? Oh, here's the statute.
Sir, that was incredibly detailed.
Hate it. I've been working a lot.
Sir? Wayne Doyle, Hillsborough County Natural Resources. So you have spoken to Carla Sheldon about the ag exemption. We can add that. We will add that to our recommendation page. Greenbelt is not the same as an ag exemption for natural resources. So the ag exemption is required. If you get approved for the ag exemption, the violation will go away. But if you don't get approved for the ag exemption, the fines will remain. So as long as you put in for the ag exemption, get approved. You're still going the route for the strawberries?
Absolutely.
Okay,
I have
so-
a farmer that wants to rent it and I'm sitting here going with this.
So let's just go ahead and put in the ag exemption.
It's in?
You already submitted it?
Yes.
When did you submit it?
Signed on 3/21/22.
Thank you.
Okay.
I don't know if that's when it was submitted, but that's when it was signed.
I mean, I submitted it as soon as I noticed I screwed up by missing the hearing, but I had, all kinds of family issues going on, trying to just keep things floating.
All right, do me a favor, contact Ryan Joyce, make sure that process is going. We'll give you the time to get it processed through. And once that happens, if it gets approved, the violation will go away.
All right, and then also, that does say it supersedes it, our statute?
Sir, you do have comments that you have to address from the planners. So that'll be your next step to address those comments.
But there's the drainage ditch now, which was, like I said, in the 50s, put there. I'm sorry, a little nervous, but all for
You're fine. No, it's a process. I understand that.
Frustrating. Going along with what Swiftmut's saying, and then no one calls me. It's like, we could have resolved it.
Like I said earlier in the meeting, by the time you're done with this, you're going to be an expert. Just hang on. You gave me a lot of information. Just let me digest for a minute, please. Mr. Doyen.
Yes.
In regards to the Florida statute, the reason we're requiring the owner to complete the agricultural exemption is so that 373.406 number 2 applies. Correct? For an agricultural exemption?
Yes.
Okay.
My recommendation, since he's already submitted and just he has to provide comments and go the back and forth with this to get the approvals.
Timeline?
My suggestion would be to continue for 2 months and it should be resolved by then.
I agree. Okay, for case L 216965, I'm going to continue this hearing until the August 5th, 2022 hearing. So that gives you 90 days in which to get the agricultural exemption process completed. In addition, we're going to put a hold on the fines as well. I know they haven't started, but I think they start sometime in June. So we're going to hold on that as well. So there won't be any fines incurring until you come back in front of me on August the 5th. And then by then we should have a status in regards to agricultural exemption.
Yes, sir. And if that's the case, if the ag exemption goes through, we will contact Citizen Board Support and
then you might not even come in front of me. Okay. Questions, concerns? That work for you? I know it's been a tough battle. I know you've had some family issues. I apologize for that. Hope that gets better. And we'll
I
go through
have
the
some other
process
concerns,
together.
but I don't think this is the forum, but I don't know how else to explain my frustration with trying to get in touch with people and everyone just hiding. I mean, COVID. It's like, listen, I'm out here doing stuff.
I understand your concern and just as much frustration and trouble that you've had in regards to your family and things like that. I'd ask that you provide that kind of grace to them as well. So been a tough time for everybody. So we're going to move forward and I'll hopefully I won't see you in August and this will all be taken care of.
I'll get my application in.
Fantastic. Thank you, sir. Have a great weekend. Great day. It's Tuesday. Used to Fridays. Next case, please.
Did you did everything. I have a question. That's
Please, go ahead.
okay.
On case L 216965.
Yes, the one that we just finished
Yes.
and you've continued it to August 5th.
Correct.
At the August 5th, if he's not in compliance, does that go retroactive to the June date that the fines would have started, or does everything get pushed forward?
Fines should start from August 5th, 2022.
Okay,
Give them an opportunity to get this complete
okay, thank you.
instead of retro. Thank you for the clarification. Next case, please.
Page 6, number 13, case number L 217150. The owner is Franco Miguel Tolentino, and the violator is M&Z Land Management LLC. We have service on both parties, and several people are here for this.
Good morning.
Good morning. Everybody who's going to talk, raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Okay. Will you both state your name and address for the record, please?
Kimberly Restrepo, address 5109 Fleming Road, Plant City, Florida 33565.
Thank you.
My name is Miguel Tolentino. My address is 5109 Fleming Road, Plant City, Florida 33565.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Can we have the other people state their name and address, please?
Zach Upley Grove, 410 Manor Drive, Bartow, Florida, 33830.
And sir, who are you representing here?
Can you do that for the microphone for us?
M&Z Land Management, we're
Oh.
both co-owners.
I just want to make sure. Thank you. Your name and address, please.
Moses Vasquez, 117 US Highway 17 South, Winter Haven, Florida, 33881.
Thank you.
Same question. You're both the owners? Okay, thank you. Mr. Doyen?
Hillsborough County, Wayne Doran, Natural Resources. Case L 217150. Owners Franco Miguel A. Tolentino. Violators M&Z Land Management LLC. Violation address 2708 Dad Weldon Road, Dover. Violation observed unpermitted removal of protected trees totaling 321 inches DBH, diameter at 4.5 feet height. Ordinance violated section 4.01. First inspection September 22nd, 2021. First notice October 14th, 2021. Last inspection April 21st, 2022. Inspections conducted 4. I will turn this over to Inspector Knight.
Good morning, this is Tim Knight, Hillsborough County Natural Resources. We have here a chart of the trees that were removed. As you see, the notes, all conversions are taken from a stump diameter to DBH using the USDA Forest Service conversion chart. Straight line conversions are done by using 3 straight line cross-section measurements and averaging them. If that stump is not 4.5 feet tall, the same USDA chart is used to convert it to the DBH. And a note on this is that trees number 12 and 15 were not included in the total inches due to inability to confirm the species as protected. Next slide, please. Okay, this is showing the location of the tree removals. They were scattered pretty much along the property line throughout the property. Next slide, please. Okay. I included pictures of some of the larger trees. This case had a lot of trees that were either completely removed or suffered effective removal. They couldn't all be included in this slide for time purposes, but some of them are here. This is tree number 5. It's a 36-inch DBH. You can see there are numerous wounds on this tree that it is very unlikely to recover from. Next slide, please. This is tree number 7. It is a 63-inch DBH oak tree. Tree number 10. This tree was measured using the actual DBH of the remaining trunk that you can see in the right picture. The lower stump at the in the right picture, about 1 foot off the ground, was using a 3 diameter average and conversion, and the other trunk that is split in half was not considered in the total diameter of the trees. Next slide, please. This is another tree of effective removal. It was had extreme removal of canopy, and it is now completely one-sided, making it unstable and unlikely to recover from the wounds. Another tree, a similar circumstance where so much of the tree was removed and there was only one third of the trunks remaining, and it is leaning over neighboring property. Okay, this is a recheck was done on April 21st, 2022. You see in the pictures there are no recent plantings on site.
Staff recommendations: plant 321 inches DBH of approved shade restoration trees, or contribute 321 inches to the restoration fund, or a combination of plantings and contributions to the fund within 120 calendar days. Trees must be 1 inch DBH or larger, minimum 8 feet in height, Florida grade number 1, chosen from the Hillsborough County approved tree list as appropriate. Contributions to the fund equates $65 per DBH inch. Property owner and violator will be responsible for this violation. Fines will be issued for failure to meet timeframes.
Okay, folks, who would like to speak first?
Hey.
Okay.
Good morning.
I'm going to tip that down a little bit. Nice, loud and clear for my folks downtown. Thank you.
Okay, so this is my first property that ever. I'm 27 years old. So I hired Moises, an actual like company tree that has actual experience. We met up on the property. Before we proceed, like going around the property, he showed me like pictures, the work that he has done and everything. Make sure he has enough experience, because I didn't want this to happen. So after that, we went around the property. I was telling him like what I want to do. I want to build my house there, bring my parents, my wife that I just got married. So I was excited and everything. So I told him like what I want to do, and then he was like, okay, so we can do this, we can do it, and everything with permits, everything can be done. Also, so I told him like this tree I want to remove, and it's like, oh, but do we need permits and everything? And then he said, yes, my secretary like take care of that. We take care of all the permits, and then so we were around the property, and then basically he was charging me like the amount and everything. And then he was telling me, so this is the full price for the first, the first property on the back, which is 5 acres. So he charged me, 30K, no, actually 50,000, half at the beginning to start the job and half at the end. So everything went well, except he left like the picture that you saw, the big tree, the oak tree, he left it there. And then he told me that he was gonna, at the end, remove it, like at the end. I was like, okay, that's fine. And after that, so since everything went well, I was like, in my head, he has all the permits because that's why he charged me a lot. So on the other half, which is the 3 acres on the front of the property, so he charged me 28,000, and I was like, why so much if it's less than in the back? And he was telling me because I had to put all the permits for all the trees, and I was like, well, this tree can be removed. I asked him, and he's like, yes, and if with permit you can remove anything. Because so we went and I paid him like the first half, which is 14, and whenever they were working, they cut the trees at the front one, which is this one that I'm going to show. That one right there. Oh, I'm sorry. He cut those 2 trees. So, but they didn't like took it with precaution. The tree fall on the light pole, so knocked the cables and everything. So as soon as I went over there, I saw all the cables on the road. As soon as I saw that, I called Moises. Moises, who he wasn't there. Everything this. I talked with Moises directly, not with, I don't know who's sick. But like with Moises directly, so I called Moises, but he wasn't in the job. So I had to call him, like, tell you guys, like, to fix this. And then he was like, oh, yes, I already called Tico and everything they're going to go fix. And I'm like, I didn't know what to do. So as soon as that happened, that's the day whenever, like, team night show up. And then everything, like, when, like, I don't know, he disappeared, or Moises for me. He disappeared, he didn't show up and everything, like he was saying that he was gonna take care of it. So that, as you see on the picture, he left it like that. So when finally I got reached to Moises, we met up on the property, and he said that like for me to pay him like another 10,000, because it was like 14,000 still. So I pay him like I didn't say like I didn't pay it and like everything, but he said like to pay at least some so he can pay his workers. So I pay him like 9 for me to still like keep 5,000 for him to come back and finish the job. So he didn't show up and everything. He didn't like reach to me. Finally, he reached to me whenever he received the notice, because he was like having so much trouble like with his work, going to the county and everything. I was like, now you want me to help you because you're having trouble, but you left me here alone. I have no experience at all. So I have all the statements, the checks and everything. So that I was paying him, and then he was like telling me to lie in front, like the team, to you guys, because at the beginning I told him like I'm gonna build my house to bring my parents to. That's why it's 9 acres, because I'm planning to build like 3 small houses with my wife, my parents, and my 2 brothers that are helping me. So I told him, and then he was like telling me like to tell you guys that I'm gonna do essential agriculture, which is I don't have no idea how to build a plant. I'm probably gonna kill it, because like I don't know how to plant ever in my life like a plant. No green thumb. So I'm not into agriculture. That's what I told him. And then he was keep telling me like, if you do that, then everything is gonna go away. But why? I'm gonna lie. If like we did something, if something's wrong, like we gotta fix it. that's not a way to fix it. So he was telling me to lie. So I said, I'll tell him like, no. And after that, he called me and then he's like, well, like, let's fight this back and then we might gonna win. I was like, there's no win. Like, there's no win. There's proof. You lied to me. You didn't took no permits. There's no winning here. You didn't took the permits. You took all my money. You didn't take the permits and everything. So there's no winning. I'm not gonna fight back for this. I'm just gonna show up and then just testify. So he at the end, everything was a lie because he told me, okay, so we're gonna see in the court. You're gonna see with my lawyer. I was like, okay, that's fine. I don't have money to hire a lawyer, so that's why I'm here by myself. So those are the pictures.
Do you have copies of the invoices and checks and all those things that you've paid to him already?
Yes, I have the statements for the bank and everything. And there I had 2 copies for you guys to keep.
Okay.
Like some.
Excellent.
Two.
Thank you.
And then also, I mean, like, since I'm leaving, I'm gonna go move into that property. I already spoke to all my neighbors. Like, I'm trying to get along with them. So for me to get along with them, my property has to look nice and everything. So I don't live there, but I know my neighbors now. I get along with them and everything. And the tree that fell, it broke their fence. As soon as they broke the fence, I went to them and asked for, and then telling them that I'm gonna take care of it. I didn't know Moises was taking care of that before me. So he went to my to my neighbor and he was gonna fix it. So he hired another stump grinder to grind the stump. And then Moises told the guy that it was like a small stump. So the guy came from like far with a small machine, and then he didn't do enough because Moises told him like it was a small stump. So he didn't do so much left, and the guy was gonna come back again, but he never come back because he got like into a car accident, so he didn't come back. So I told my neighbor, okay, don't worry, I'll take care of it. So I looked for another stump grinder, and I went to three, and then the first 2 they was trying to charge me a lot, and because it was like a huge stump, so I found the 3rd one, and then he was giving me fair price and everything, and he did. So he grinded and everything. So I pay him with my own money, and I help my neighbor. I told him like, if you want, because this is like 40 something. So I told him like, if you want me, I'll come over here, help you put the fence and everything, and then all the wood that you're gonna put, I'm gonna pay for it because he has like huge dogs, and then so they escape from that area.
Gotta be careful with the huge dogs.
And they look like horses. So I have like pictures. Well, you can. If you see the fence, it's already fixed. And actually, I have the statement too for some grinder that I paid. So that's what I tell him, Moises. Like, there's no way to lie here. If we did something bad, I pay him, because whenever I pay him that huge amount, I ask him why so much, and he's like, because it's all for all the permits that we're gonna take care. I was like, okay, that's fine. So that's okay.
He assured us that everything was gonna be taken care of, and that there was nothing else that we would have to do on our part, because that's why we contracted them to handle everything. And I think that from the lack of previous knowledge and having no previous experience of being property owners and everything, we became victims of like a fraud or a scam.
Okay. Anything else you'd like to add?
Seeing the violation and everything, we, in our opinion, don't think it's fair for us to be, responsible for 100% of the fine that will be placed against us, because we did contract them and hire them for that reason. And, if not, we would have looked further and more thoroughly to see that, it wasn't legitimate or anything.
Understand. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you so much.
Yep, absolutely. Gentlemen, your turn. Well, who would like to speak? Or both of you?
I never spoke with him, so he was.
Okay.
As you can
Good
see.
morning.
Hi, how you doing?
Good.
None of it, like I said,
these are the contracts that, I don't know if you want to do a copy. I can give you this copy.
I can't hear you when you're not in front of the microphone. So.
Sorry, I have a contract that he signed with his name and everything that states that they're responsible for the permits and the,
Said it was exempt, so we had no clue. We thought we were.
If you're going to testify, you've got to stand in front of a microphone. That's how this works.
Oh, sorry.
Otherwise, my folks downtown get very upset with us.
That's fine. I seen it on the contract. I never spoke with it. I never spoke with them at all. But it's in the contract. It was ag exempt. So I was just thought we were allowed to clear the trees. I had no idea we were allowed to clear those trees.
So, sir, you did the contract and you read the contract and you just went and did the work?
I never seen a contract until about a couple of weeks ago because I just thought it was taken care of.
Okay.
Yeah, like I said, and like at the end of the day, we're not running from this or anything like that. We just don't believe that we should be fully responsible for everything.
Okay. Do you have a copy of that?
Yeah, you can
have that.
Can you pass that on to
Here's
the ladies over here so I can see it?
Their signatures are on there too.
Okay, thank you. Thanks.
We don't have the first contract. The secretary that wrote that first contract, she's fired.
I see.
Like that was months ago.
So, sir, you're saying there's another contract outside of this contract?
Yeah, there's two of them.
There's two of them. The one we gave you, that's the second one.
This one.
Yes, sir.
This is a screenshot from a phone.
Yes, sir, because I have
with
moved.
no signatures.
That one in the back should be the
Connects to it.
These signatures are from this contract.
Then she must have misprinted it.
They are exactly the same. The signatures are the same. The date is the same. The owner name is the same. And
Yes,
sir, your signature is the same.
We must have messed up on the print up. I'm so sorry about that. But no, there's a second contract to the second part of.
Do you have a second contract? Because this is not it.
I hate to interrupt, but we did not sign anything saying that we had to take out the permits ourselves.
Okay. Still working on the contract issue. So you do not have a copy of this
We won't have
second contract? Okay.
No. You have it.
What he did is he took pictures of it on a phone to save these. I keep on my contracts. He don't really do a lot of contracts, so he saved these on his phone. My phone is dead now. We had to take to a place and get that pulled up out of there, but I don't know what.
Well, I mean, to be honest, it really doesn't matter. It doesn't have a signing page along with it. I mean, it's completely invalid if it doesn't, if it's not executed by both parties. So the only contract I have here that's signed by both parties is this agreement from September the 1st.
Yeah, there was a second contract.
And the amendment on the 16th was for the additional parcel, correct? You have to say that in front of the microphone for my folks downtown.
Yes, that's correct. And
Thank you.
can I add a little bit more? If it's passable, if not.
Sure.
Yeah. So I just want to say the other contract that doesn't have no signature, like, I didn't see that before. You have the two contracts that I give right there. Those are the copy of the original that I have. So I don't want to say like nothing bad, but like in this situation, you had to man up and recognize whenever you did something bad, and now you're trying to fix it with another like lie. So you had to man up and like take your own mistakes.
Honestly, the new secretary that we have she's the one that printed it out.
Unfortunately, that doesn't help you this
No,
way.
I totally understand that, and I see how we're standing right here looking like.
Mr. Doyen,
Yes, sir.
there were no permits pulled for this project.
No, sir.
Staff's recommendation in regards to liable? To me, based on the evidence presented, I don't see anything that shows contractually that there was any other agreement than the one that was signed with the intent to pull permits.
For the property owners, they gave you both contracts
Correct.
and nothing in there about that they had to pull permits?
No, sir.
Sir, if I may add something, it may help or may muddy the water even more.
Hello?
Yes. Yes, this is Tim Knight.
Sir, just, there's a voice in the air. Go ahead.
Sorry about that.
That's okay.
So, in my investigation, I had spoken with both parties, Mr. Tolentino and Moses Vasquez. I'll say that consistently, Mr. Tolentino has expressed to me that he was under the impression that the contractors were getting the permits. And in my first contact with Mr. Vasquez, he expressed to me that he was unaware that permits were required for the work, which kind of seems to contradict some of the statements right here, right now.
County's recommendation for this would be 100% towards its tree company.
Yeah, I don't see anything here contractually. You don't have your second contract.
Totally understand.
Yeah, unfortunately, I don't have any materials here to understand exactly what was transpired.
Yes, sir.
I would have to agree. I think in this case, I think you are liable for the outstanding issue. So that's how I'm going to rule. 120 calendar days, I think, is sufficient time in which to get that done. Okay.
That is what 3.5 months.
Correct. So you have an opportunity to either plant or pay the restoration fund or donate trees or a combination thereof.
Okay, who do I call to?
Mr. Doran, you'll be notified, and in that it'll show all the information in regards to
Yes,
who you can contact that with, and you can donate trees to schools or parks or anything like that.
And where do we? And if we decide to plant, where would we plant?
You would have to get in touch with myself. I can give you my contact information. I would, if you're going to donate, I would put you in contact with the Hillsborough County Park Ranger that's in charge of this program. He would let you know what trees they need, and you would have to go purchase them, meet our criteria for the tree, and then have them delivered to whatever park he says or location.
And if it's a donation, would that be just cutting like, how would I do that?
For what you mean, to pay?
Yes.
To pay, you would contact me. I would set up a payment for you to do online, and that's how you would do it.
All right.
Okay. Okay, I will rule in the case. I rule in case L 217150 that based on the staff's recommendations, I concur, require the violator to plant 321 inches DBH of approved shade restoration trees or contribute 321 inches to the restoration fund or a combination of plantings and contribution to the fund within 120 calendar days. Trees must be 1 inch DBH or larger, a minimum of 8 feet in height, Florida grade 1, chosen from the Hillsborough County approved street tree list as appropriate. Contribution to the fund equates to $65 per DBH inch. The violator will be responsible for this violation. Failure to meet any of the timelines listed above will result in a fine of $250 per calendar day. All right, sir, so you have 120 days to get that complete. Thank you very much. Thank you for your time. Would you like me to clarify for you?
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Where would that leave us?
That leaves you with the violator taking care of the violation, 100% of the violation. So he will take care of it and you don't have anything else to do. You're good.
So, so when can I start like, cause, the land has like tall grass on now, and when can I start like cutting the grass? Cause I don't want to like get in there and then get in trouble.
Yeah, as part of the development of the parcel, I would go through development services. I think that would be the first place I would start to make sure that I'm doing it the right way.
Okay, or call the inspector Sam?
Absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely. Can direct you the same way.
Okay, appreciate it so much. Okay.
Tim, you can help them when they call you?
Yes, sir. That's correct.
Fantastic. So inspector will help you through that process. You've got his number so you can get in touch with him directly.
Mr. Lawrence.
Absolutely. Thank you, folks.
Thank you, Tim.
120 calendar days, $250 per day. Next case, please.
Turn to page 7, number 16, case number L 217246. The owner is the Auger Family Properties of Ruskin LLC. Location is West Shell Point Road and 22nd Street Northwest in Ruskin. We have service and someone is here for this case.
Good morning.
Raise your right hand, please. Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll need each of you to state your name and address for the record.
You turn that one on. Sorry. Counselor.
Thanks. Attorney Michael Owen with Owen and Donovan, 5109 Aperture Wood Lane, Brandon, Florida.
Kelly Cowell, 101 22nd Street Northwest, apartment 112, Ruskin, Florida, 33570.
David Haggerty, 13901 Felixville Road, Riverview, Florida, 33579.
Okay.
Can each of you, oh, sorry.
Okay.
Can each of you explain your relation to the case, please? So I know who's talking about what.
We're the neighboring property.
Okay.
That what they've done has impacted us.
Okay. No problem. And you, sir?
Same, I'm the vice president on the board for My Warriors Place.
Oh, okay. And counselor, you're representing the owner?
Well, I know, I am with My Warriors Place as well. I'm their attorney and I'm on their board as well. So
okay,
we've been having some disputes with the neighboring properties, so I'm here.
I see. Okay. No representation for the owner. Okay. Mr. Doyen.
Wayne Doyen, Hillsborough County Natural Resources. This is case L 217246. Owner violator, Auger Family Properties of Ruskin LLC. Violation address, West Shell Point Road and 22nd Street Northwest, Ruskin. Violation, unpermitted land alterations, piles of asphalt millings for a roadway within a FEMA flood zone, AE. Ordinance violated, section 4.01. First inspection, December 17, 2021. First notice, December 21st, 2021. Last inspection, April 21st, 2022. Inspections conducted 2. I will turn this over to Jim Rouch, Stormwater.
It was Jim with Hillsborough County Stormwater. The picture here is the property, shows it goes down to the river, from Shell Point Road. The entire property's in a flood zone. I inherited the case because it's a flood zone from John Beavers. I wasn't out on an initial complaint. I hadn't been on the property at all, but I have taken pictures of the fill, through the fences. There's chain link all the way around it. And, I've been in contact with Bill Reed, one of the members whose family owns the property, and he told me that they were building a house on it before COVID started. They went to a pre-sub meeting. They were told by the fire department in a pre-sub meeting that they needed to stabilize the driveway for a 32,000-pound vehicle, the fire trucks coming in, and what the requirements were. So they started bringing the millings in for that. And then we're in the process of pulling the single family permit and getting their plans together, and got cited in between the process there. So they were held up and told not to spread it or move it. So it's been sitting idle since. And he told me their plans are together and they're hoping to get plans approval. And that's where I am at the case.
Staff recommendation, submit, obtain, and finalize the natural resource permit to address the disposed fill material and stormwater requirements for the property within 153 calendar days. The following items must be included in the application. Submit a professional engineer's plan and provide as-built plan of the final grade, elevations, or remove all fill material within 153 calendar days and request a county inspection. Fines will be applied for failure to meet these timeframes.
Jim, question for you. Communication with the owner at this point through the process?
Has been well. He's in Lakeland, so I had to go back and forth to Lakeland a couple times for hand deliveries. Spoke with them twice then, and they were agreeable and trying to move forward. A little bit hard to get on the phone, but I think that's due to his job. He's got a pretty intense job, so he would call me back though after I've made calls, left messages, and then he's called me back.
5-month time frame we think is fair for what they have to do?
That's going to depend because they could either do a natural resource permit or the single family permit would cover that also. And you would have to check with them as to where they are in that process. I know he said it's been moving kind of slow getting the permit for the house.
Okay. All right, folks, who would like to speak first?
Well, Attorney Michael Owen, if I could briefly just get clarification, is the issue as far as compliance goes for them to remove the crushed asphalt? I guess that we don't have any notice of the actual violation here today. So if there's any way that can just be clarified a little bit.
Sure. Wayne? I'd like you to clarify the violation.
Okay, at this point right now, the violation, I'm going to actually amend the recommendation. It's going to be, they have to submit for a single family building permit. Through that process, it goes through all the different departments to cover each step to the finalization for them to build a home. That would include that road they need to build. So as of right now, they're in violation for fill in this flood zone area.
And I guess my clarification, I'm concerned about what they're using to build the road. It's crushed asphalt right on our waterways right there. So we're coming into the rainy season, and I just don't know how that's environmentally sound. So that's why I was asking for that clarification. Are they going to have to remove that the crushed asphalt, which I've never seen on any property located on the water, I think because it's not environmentally sound? Or are they going to have to pave and make a road, basically?
That would be discussed when they submit for the paperwork. And the materials that would be allowed would be through that permitting process.
Okay, but you see my concern. We have big piles of asphalt.
I'm just looking at your back and I'm thinking this is not comfortable. Can you stand over here and go through this? I hate to see you keep leaning.
Sure, thank you for that.
Absolutely.
My concern is just the time period and the fact that we have large piles of asphalt that's crushed right next to our waterways. When I say right next to it, Kelly, if you could speak in the microphone, how close do you think that is?
We're probably 20 feet away from the water, the river, but they're probably less than 10 feet away from a natural spring that's on the property. Our main concern is they were given 3 cease and desist and they ignored all of them. What they've done is taken away the natural ditch area. So when we have heavy rains, the water goes down the ditch along the roadway into the river. And the way they have pushed the crushed asphalt around has cut that off. And I am so afraid that we're going to go into the storm season and be flooded out because there's no place for the water to drain because of what they've done.
So it's your testimony that they've continued to spread and move the material?
Yes.
Even after they've been told not to?
3 times.
3 times.
They have 3 cease and desist put on them, and they tore each one down within 2 hours and continue to do what they're doing.
Okay. Wayne, as
John
part of,
Beavers would have to attest to that. I didn't issue any cease and desist on the property.
okay, thanks, Jim. Can we require the owner to put in silt fence?
Yes,
To control that?
That will be part of the whole process.
Okay.
And 5 months is plenty of time for that. And the big thing, wetland setbacks will keep the road out of that area so that the wetland setbacks there to protect the wetlands, the waterways. So unless that's the only access point in, then specifications will be made but silt fencing will be put up. And that's why we're here today, to get this thing moving.
I kind of agree with the testimony this morning of concern in regards to coming into the rainy season. So I think part of the order, I know that's a little unusual, but I'd like to require the owner to install silt fence immediately for control. So amended that way.
Is there any way, I've got pictures showing where they've pushed this crushed asphalt that is now filled in the ditch.
Absolutely, I'd love to see them. Are they on your phone or do you have them?
No, I've got copies
Yes,
for
we have
everyone.
copies for you.
Terrific. If you hand them over to, she'll pass them on to me. That'd be great. Wayne, what's your thought on amending? What did you want to add the building permit?
They also have,
Second, man.
Yeah, I can change it real quick.
Okay, thank you. Go ahead.
they also have direct access from Shell Point Road, so they don't need to have an access from 22nd Street. That is what along the ditch that they've compromised. And
Just to clarify, they filled in a ditch so they can access it from a different
yes,
part of the property,
yes,
in addition to what they normally would be from the
already have
entrance off of the
from Shell Point Road.
arterial. Okay.
And I have this drawing here, or this picture here.
Did you give me multiple copies of the same?
Yeah,
Okay,
I didn't know how many
That's okay.
copies were needed.
no problem.
As you can see, they have direct access on their property from Shell Point Road.
1 second, the tech guys are working hard. Thank you.
They have direct access from Shell Point Road. What they've done is this is 22nd Street. They've created an entrance point way down here, which you see the pictures of the fence that they did onto the property. This is the gate
Okay,
here. It comes off 22nd
I see.
Street.
I see.
And you can see how the crushed asphalt has come across the natural ditch area that runs down. The ditch is actually on the inside of their property of that fence. That fence that was put in caused the natural ditch area to start collapsing. And then when they put in that gated entrance, that's where they push the crushed asphalt out onto 22nd Street here. And totally cut off the natural ditch that runs there alongside. So the water's going to come, what little bit of ditch is left down here and hit this and then just come across the road this way onto our property and flood us out.
Jim, can you respond to that?
It's just, there's not really a deep ditch there. It's just kind of the natural area. Most of the fill is pretty far from the property line. So this would be the only infill that would impact it. And it's not that heavy. There's not like a big ditch along there. It's just the roadway drops down to the property. I didn't notice it as I came up to the property as a huge issue. If I notice things like that when I'm out there, I tend to address them, but I didn't even notice that.
Understand. Thank you.
Jim, do you believe that those millings are preventing the natural flow of water?
Oh, sure. Anything is going to do it. And it is in a flood zone, so it needs to be permitted or removed. The thing is, also, they planned on splitting the parcel, I do believe, for 2 houses. And transportation would determine whether they're allowed to share that
Right.
access or whether it would have separate. So it's possibly that transportation told them that one would access here and the other would access in the front. The county is really trying to get away from shared accesses.
And if I can just make comment too, I just think it's important to understand the property, because you're seeing their property, but not my Warriors Place. And I think it's important for y'all just to know these are our Gold Star moms. This is the place for our first responders to go that have PTSD. We use these waterways for canoeing, for therapy for these folks. You're speaking to one right now whose son made that ultimate sacrifice. So it's really important to note that we cannot afford to have days where we're having flooding and erosion and environmental issues with this. I know all property is important, but I just think it's important for the record just to note that what this is.
Understand. Thank you, Counselor. Sir, anything you'd like to add? I know.
Yeah, I just, I'm a Purple Heart recipient. I came to My Warriors Place as a place to help and to heal, and became heavily involved. I can tell you with certainty, there's nowhere in the country that's doing what My Warriors Place is doing, and it would be a shame to create a condition where My Warriors Place had to decide to relocate. Or something like that. It would create a significant hardship. And if they're flooded out through the rainy season, that's absolutely what will happen. So we love our association with Hillsborough County. We love the fact that we've been well received here, and we'd like to continue that association. But if we're flooded out, I mean, it's really kind of game over, right? And that's really where we're at.
Understand. Thank you. Back to your staff recommendation.
All right, the updates, let's share the video.
Wayne, you mind if I add one more thing?
Yep.
If that's in county right away, I'm not sure what 22nd is noted as, but they're going to need a right of way use permit that would fall outside of what we regulate, the area outside the fence. If that's county ditch, then they're going to need a right-of-way use permit to deal with that and what kind of culvert and stuff like that they would need to keep that driveway in the back. Again, that's going to be up to transportation and right-of-way and all them to decide whether that stays there or not. It is in a flood zone, so they do have to compensate for it. If they were to put a ditch in, they would have to, or the driveway in there, they would have to excavate part of it and then refill it with the millings so that it doesn't alter the flow of surface water.
I'll clarify on that. This will all be discussed during the permitting phase. The LDC sets guidelines for all this, and each department will have their time to go through it. If Jim thinks these millings in that ditch is preventing the natural water flow, then we can add this in to remove that. on a separate.
Yes. Yeah, I think, to me, we either, as part of my order, I'm going to require them to put in silt fencing for erosion control. So that's going to happen within a couple of weeks. If nothing else, that will help retain, based on the testimony and the distance of the piles of millings to the water. I think that's my primary concern. In regards to the 153 days, if we think that's going to be.
Yes.
Okay. So I'm okay with that, as long as we have somebody actively working on the erosion control in the interim. And then removal of the millings for the access, that's a county issue. Do we want to address that with the county, or want to include that in our recommendation? Or
We can include that.
Okay. Okay, let's do that as well. Okay. All right, folks, based on your testimony, I think what we're going to do, I'm going to require them to put in some silt fencing, some erosion control to help through that process, through the wet season, while they go through their process for trying to secure a permit. And then obviously, as mentioned by both of these gentlemen on staff, that they're going to go through the process and identify that to the county, and the county is going to review that. As part of my order, I'm also going to put in, what's the timeline? What do you think for a timeline for the access millings?
To remove them?
Mm-hmm.
$30.
Okay. So removal of millings on 22nd Street access within 30 calendar days.
Yep. Sounds good.
Yeah, that's good.
Okay. Yeah, that's good with us. Ready, ladies? Okay. I move in case L 217246 that I concur with staff's recommendations, require the violator to submit, obtain, and finalize the LAL permit to address the disposed fill materials and stormwater requirements for the property with 153 calendar days. The following items must be included in the application: submit a professional engineer's plan and provide an as-built plan of final grade elevations, or remove all fill materials within 153 calendar days and request a county inspection. I also require the violator to install silt fencing for erosion control on all millings within 21 calendar days. And require removal of the millings on the 22nd Street access within 30 calendar days.
You want to just combine them, 21, 21?
Sure. 21 calendar days for both installation of silt fence and removal of millings on 22nd Street access. Failure to meet any of the timelines listed previously result in a daily fine of $300 a day. All right. Fantastic.
Thank you for your time
Thank
today.
you very much.
Okay.
Appreciate you guys coming down.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Have a great day. Next case, please.
Page 8, number 17, case number L 227292. The owner is Molson Agra Soffit Incorporated. Location 4601 West US Highway 92. We have service. We have someone here. Good morning.
Clearly a gentleman from Agra. Good morning.
Good morning.
Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
We say it so we can hear it.
I do.
Okay. And state your name and address.
Nelson Negra, 4468 Lindsay Loop, Dover, Florida, 33527.
Thank you. And you're the owner of
Yes.
Molson Agra Soffit?
Yes, the company.
Obviously, okay.
Yes.
Wayne Doyle, Hillsborough County Natural Resources, case L 227292. Owner violators Nelson Agra Soffit Inc., violation address 4601 West 92nd Highway, Plant City. Violation observed unpermitted removal of one 24-inch live oak and one 16-inch red cedar. Total of 40 inches DBH, diameter 4.5 feet height. Ordinance violated section 4.01. First inspection, January 28, 2022. First notice, February 18, 2022. Last inspection, April 21st, 2022. Inspections conducted 3. I'll turn this over to Inspector Knight.
Yes, hello, this is Tim Knight, Hillsborough County Natural Resources. And I would like to preface the slides here with, Your Honor, Mr. Agra has been pretty cooperative throughout this. However, it was necessary to bring this to a hearing because he has had a previous code enforcement violation at his home for tree removals. So we wanted to bring the case to get the official documentation for potential future repeat violator status. Okay, so in that first slide, go back a slide, please. Okay, in that first slide, you see the 2 trees that are being cited. On the left is an oak tree with the 2 arrows. I would like to draw out for comparison in the future pictures that if you see that tree toward the base, it is close to the fence, and as it goes up upward at higher part of that arrow is, you can see that it's clearly leaning backwards away from the fence. The tree to the right is the red cedar, and in between the 2, you see there's another tree close to the red cedar that is kind of leaning it towards it. Okay, next slide, please. This is an image from within the property of the 2 trees. Again, you see the one that's kind of leaning on the right side. It's kind of leaning back into the property. That's the oak tree. The one to the left is the red cedar. And then you see in the middle there's that other tree that was kind of leaning towards the red cedar. This picture is taken, actually posted on multiple websites for the sale of the property to Mr. Agra. And it was this particular version of it was taken off compass.com. Next slide, please. You see here the conditions on January 28th, my first visit to the property. Clearly, there are no trees remaining in that front portion of the property. And the reinspection recently on April 21st, there are no trees replanted on the property.
Staff recommendation, plant 40 inches DBH diameter, 4.5 feet height of approved shade restoration trees, or contribute 40 inches to the restoration fund, or a combination of plantings and contribution fund within 60 calendar days. Trees must be 1 inch DBH or larger, minimum 8 feet in height, Florida grade number 1, chosen from the Hillsborough County approved tree list as appropriate. Contribution to the fund equates to $65 per DBH inch. Fines will be issued for failure to meet timeframes.
Tim, question, the trees that we're addressing today are just the 2 shown in the picture?
Yes, sir. Just the 2, 1 oak, 1 red cedar.
There were no other trees that were removed on the property? I mean, the follow-up visit looked like it had been stripped.
Those were the 2 trees that we could confirm species and size.
I see. Okay, thank you.
Yes, sir.
What would you like to tell me?
Okay. I bought this land by October last year, and this land was abandoned for like 3 years. Was too dirty, too much garbage. A homeless invaded the property some time ago and burned down the house. So I talked to the people, I will buy it, but you clean the land. You give me clean it. And they told, okay. Have one company by November and December, have one company working inside, cleaning. They clean everything. I would like to put the business in the last year, for the finish, before the finish the year, because I bought the property in my company name. Before close my fiscal year, I would like to put it, sure. So get December 20 and the land done was cleaned. And I thought, we need to do it. We closed the seller in December 28. So I received the land in January 2. Like was, I don't know. I finished the clean. I get this, you see it? This is a contract for clean. If you see it, it's just clean and take the brush still 3 inches because I had some problem in my house. I had another problem in my house. And I told to these people, don't touch on the trees because I don't want problem with the county. I told him, and he take just the garbage and the brush and clean the land. So had some piece of wood there, cut it, but I don't do it. But I told to Tim, I just want finish this. If I need pay for, I will do it, but I don't take out any tree. Because I go out for the country in January. I leave these guys cleaning, and I just look, when I come back, I will do the application because I need to take out some trees because I will bid my deposit there. This week I'm doing this. I'm applying for some trees that I need cut it. I'm doing the process with the application, everything, but for this, it's not my problem, but what can I do?
I understand, but at the end of the day, you purchased the property, so you are the property owner. So that responsibility is yours.
Yes, I
go back to them and
I told
explain to them that you got fined and.
I told this to him.
Yes.
I know, I don't do it, I need to do it.
Uh-oh. Well, you might need to seek some legal help with that. I don't
Yes,
know. Absolutely.
yes.
Okay. But you understand what the violation is, you understand the timeline, you understand what the recommendation of
I
staff
understand.
are. Okay.
Yeah, I
Okay.
understand.
Terrific.
But in the papers, he talked about one tree with 4 feet and 4.5 feet. In the picture, don't have one tree like that.
Well, the good news is that the violation is for 40 inches, so
40 inches.
that's not even
Okay.
4 feet total. So
Yeah. Go ahead.
if you'd like them to reevaluate that, I can send it back to them. But that sounds like a pretty good deal. So
Oh, good.
okay,
We-
all right. You're okay with the 60 calendar days as well? You can take care of that within 60 calendar days.
Yeah.
Okay, fantastic. Thank you, sir. Moving case L227292, that based on staff's recommendations, I concur with staff's recommendations, require the violator to plant 40 inches DBH diameter and 4.5 feet height of approved shade restoration trees, or contribute 40 inches to the restoration fund, or a combination of plantings and contributions to the fund within 60 calendar days. Trees must be 1 inch DBH or larger, a minimum of 8 feet in height. Florida grade 1, chosen from the Hillsborough County approved tree list is appropriate. Contribution to the fund equates to $65 per DBH inch. Failure to meet any of the timelines listed above will result in a daily fine of $200 per day.
How can I do the contribution? 65 by inch, and I
How
will
do
do this.
Do the contribution?
Yeah.
You can get with Officer Tim Knight, and he'll give you my contact information, and we can set that up.
He will contact me?
No, do you have his number?
Yes, I have.
Give him a call, and he will give you my contact information, and we'll set that up for you.
Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you, sir. Appreciate you coming down. Have a great day. Next case, please.
Okay, that was the last of the audience.
Okay. Seeing that no one is present in the audience for the remaining cases on the agenda, I will now review the case materials previously provided by county staff, and if I find the property is in violation of Hillsborough County Codes of Ordinances as listed in staff's presentation, my ruling in each case will be based on the evidence presented, the gravity of the violation, the actions taken by the violator, and the violator's history, determining the amount of fine that will be assessed. First case, please.
Page 6, number 14, case number L217229. This case was pulled per staff. Page 7, number 15, case number L217235. The owner is A&G Granite and Marble Incorporated. Location 5703 West Sly Avenue. We have service and no one is present.
Morning, during Hillsborough County Natural Resources. This is case L217235. Owner violated A&G Granite and Marble Inc. Violation address 5703 West Sly Ave, Tampa. Violation observed unpermitted land alteration within wetland setback area. Ordinance violated section 4.01. First inspection December 9, 2021. First notice December 9/2021. Last inspection, April 14, 2022. Inspections conducted 3. I got called out to this location for a complaint on December 9, 2021. These are the pictures I took for unpermitted land alteration within the wetland setback area. April 14, 2022, recheck of the area. They've cleaned it up. They've started regrading the process. They have put in for a permit through the county, which includes the wetland setback restoration. It's already been submitted, so they're working on that, and you'll see in my recommendation. Staff recommendation is obtain and finalize permit HC BLD 220031-001 within 120 calendar days, or restore wetland setback to natural state with approved native wetland plants within 120 calendar days. The owner responsible for resolving this matter with the county. Fines will be issued for failure to meet timeframes.
I concur with staff's recommendations in case L217235 require the violator to obtain and finalize a permit number HCBLD 220031-001 within 120 calendar days, or restore wetland setback to natural state with approved native wetland plants within 120 calendar days. The owner is responsible for resolving this matter with the county. Failure to meet any of the 10 lines listed above results in a daily fine of $225 per day. Next case, please.
That concludes the agenda.
Fantastic. Thank you to everyone online. I appreciate your time today. This meeting is adjourned.